Lionel Messi received an undisclosed fine after for violating the hands to the face, head, or neck of an opponent policy following the conclusion of Inter Miami's match against NYCFC.
Now, let me tell you something. This hits a little bit close to home because this was one of our boys.
This was we alluded to it a little bit. We didn't know exactly what. I am honestly surprised there was a fine at all. I didn't think.
Well, it was caught on camera.
It was caught on camera, but still, it's Messi.
Yeah,
it's untouchable.
Well, it's an undisclosed fine, so it's probably like you're gonna get 25 cents less in your next check.
Hey, okay, you're gonna miss those $3 that we took, Lionel. But yeah, if you didn't see it, he walks up to Mehdi Bellucci. He's saying something. They're having a conversation, amongst training staff, and then right there, Messi leans in and really kind of...
He covers his mouth, but you can tell what he's saying is pretty aggressive. He leans forward. He puts his hand on the back of a person's neck, which is like not uncommon, but at the end, you can see he tenses up
a little bit, like he's talking to his child.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, stop doing that.
Right. And he kind of reacts like, get off me. But I still think, so Mehdi Bellucci was standing by himself. That's the person we're talking about. Mehdi Bellucci, the homie, one of the assistants at NYCFC, also played at New York City FC.
Yeah.
Also played at Rebels before that with Thierry Henry. So he's got a lot of experience with big names. He had his hands in his pockets and he kind of said like, hey, man, like, this is right after Messi was very upset about some of the calls. And he was talking to the refs and he received a yellow card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So this right after that, you can tell he's still upset as he's walking away, saying some stuff. And you can tell Mehdi Bellucci kind of gives him like, hey, man, it is what it is. You're not going to get every call. That's kind of the look. I don't know what was said.
I don't know what was said either. We may never know. But
the look was like, you don't get every call. And Messi was like, do you know who I am?
Watching this back, it looks like Mehdi is not really even addressing Messi at all. Right here. He's not looking at him. He's looking at the other guy.
I think that's another Miami coach, maybe? Or is that an NYCFC coach?
I can't tell.
That comes over to be like, don't disrespect Messi. Like, talk to me. Like, if you're going to talk like that, talk to me. Kind of. That's the vibe I'm getting.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
I don't think Mehdi Bellucci was disrespectful to anyone at any moment.
Nah, dude, do you not remember the beginning of the video? Like, you got to see the full thing. There's another camera. Look at the guy on the left. You see where the photographer is taking pictures? There's a camera from that angle where you could see the beginning, how this started. Mehdi's got his hands in his pockets and he kind of shrugs and is saying like, hey, man, hey, you're not going to get every call. That's the vibe. I don't know what was said. And Messi starts to kind of walk away and turns around and goes, wait, what did you say? Yeah. I'll have this conversation with you. So this started with he's being like, bruh, like, you're not going to get every call. That's the only thing I can assess from the body language.
All speculating. I don't know. I don't know exactly what made Messi come back right here. Why is he coming?
But this started before that.
I understand that, but I'm just saying he is fined for it. Messi didn't, Bellucci didn't receive a fine.
No, but see, and the reason you're saying he didn't react to it or he's not reacting is I think the zoom in circle moves away too quickly. If you look right at the end, you'll see Mehdi kind of looks at him and kind of shrugs away, being like, bro, watch right here. All right, so look, grabs the neck, saying something, makes it tighter, and watch right there. See how he turned around? He turned to look at him being like, yo, bro, don't squeeze my neck, kind of
Of course, yeah, that's totally understandable.
So he's having the conversation,
yeah,
not just specifically Messi, but it started with just Messi, and then these assistant coaches came by.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I've seen the whole thing like the Zapruder film, bro.
So Messi and Suarez received a fine as well. Suarez for I think arguing with refs or something along those lines. But yeah, this is I mentioned on Monday. I'm just saying.
I think grabbing somebody's neck is a little bit disrespectful. Everything else, I'm fine with all of it.
Sure. I don't know. I think at the very least, this is the first game of the MLS season, and Messi is already at this level, getting a yellow card, getting fines. More of this year.
Angry Messi kind of fun,
okay,
bro.
No, international tournaments to worry about. Just play your games.
Yeah.
You're an Inter Miami player. Let's see how it goes. So, lovely to see.
Messi involved in a lot of stuff. This is the opposite. You heard about the ref who asked Messi for his kit swap.
Yes, yeah, which we mentioned on Monday, but now we know that he
got in trouble.
He got in trouble for it. So the referee is suspended for 6 months.
6 months.
6 whole months. I mean.
Is that paid? Is it like when a cop gets because it might be worth it, bro.
I would imagine, nah.
Yeah,
but
you ain't doing many games.
6 months is this is it is a like, hey, we're not playing.
Yeah,
like,
that's a significant ban.
This is not a little pow pow.
Yeah, this is for real. This is not undisclosed. It discloses joint.
Sure.
6 month suspension, which is rough. That's rough for
especially for and this is not to the degree of like the David Coote kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm just referees and FIFA and everything. They're all like, hey. There's not going to be any funny business.
There's a decorum that's expected of the referees.
Whether you're doing cocaine or asking, for Messi's jersey,
right? Or filming content with dudes you just met at a bar where you call a coach a jerk or something. None of that. The decorum is important. I think a lot more scrutiny is being placed on referees as of late.
Sure,
not just on the pitch for what happens around it. Where in the past, we didn't know much about referees. Now we're learning a lot more. This is a situation that's just untenable. You cannot ask a player for a kit swap. That's, again, something you probably could do in the tunnel. But to do it calls into question the integrity of the whole...
In the tunnel as well.
I'm sure, but what I'm saying is, away from cameras, we wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah.
This might have happened before. We might not have known about it. There was a famous, it's some Asian country, I can't remember, where a long tenured referee was retiring and they set up a guard of honor for him. And a player at the end took his shirt off to receive one last yellow card from that referee and they kind of shook hands. There's some camaraderie with the referees and players, especially if you're long tenured. Yeah. So I get that. I get that there's, they're on the pitch with you. You talk to them. Maybe they're not friends, but they're closer to being friends than the average fan or the average person is. I get that there's going to be some of a connection there. You could probably in the tunnel be like, hey man, I'll probably never ref one of your games. If you have an extra kit, I'd love it. Do you want a ref kit? And maybe it's funny. Maybe you take a picture. Maybe you don't. I'm sure stuff like that's happened in the past. Like a player is retiring or something. We're not usually, we don't know about it, right? For the reason being, you don't do it on the pitch like an idiot.
And it's CONCACAF Champions Cup. It's the first leg. It's not a charity game.
Yeah. This is a real ass competition.
It's a real game. It's kind of ridiculous. So
you heard Messi's gonna play in Jamaica?
Yeah. Obviously, so Inter Miami beat Sporting Kansas City in both legs,
right?
And I did see
it's like a 3,000 seat stadium usually. I might have those numbers wrong, but they're going to the National Stadium, which is closer to 30,000.
Right, I think it's 35.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I know we get mad when MLS teams do it, but this is amazing.
Is it Cavalier? I believe it
is.
The name of the team. It's just gonna be dope. Has Messi ever been to Jamaica?
I'm sure he's been to Jamaica.
I don't think he's been to Jamaica ever.
Why did he not go to Jamaica?
I have no reason to think he had.
Imagine he does like cruise boat stuff where he comes out, he got that one braid. You know what I mean?
Looks like a 9-year-old white girl on vacation.
What? It's allowed. I was told it's allowed.
What does appropriation mean? I'm just here to have fun. No, CONCACAF Champions Cup has been entertaining to say.
Should we go to this game?
To the Jamaica game? Yo, Yahoo! You want to cover it?
Give us the credit card.
Yeah. Why can't we go to Jamaica? I've never been to Jamaica. Have you been?
You've never been to Jamaica?
I've never been to Jamaica.
Bro, shouts to Kingston, shouts to Negril, bro. Bro, I've been to Jamaica a couple times.
Okay.
It's a fun time. Let me tell you. No braids in my hair either, bro.
I'm going to get a braid in my hair. I
went on a cruise boat once, and there was a kid on the cruise boat who thought he was like a rapper, and he wasn't. He was just like this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was from Miami. Fair-skinned dude. He had like the part down the middle, and he got his hair braided on both sides, and he thought it was popping. He thought like, oh, when I get on this boat, I'm going to be the guy. Bro, this dude got roasted everywhere he went. It was the best.
Lovely.
Oh, imagine that happens to Messi.
So it's Inter Miami beat Sporting Kansas City. RSL loses to Herediano. I was watching that game last night. LAFC wins against Colorado.
Oh, Herediano. I know how I know that. Remember our friend that we met in Costa Rica? She used to play for the women's team.
Oh, that's right.
Jessica Quiros.
Yeah. Her name is. So those games were and Seattle crushed Antigua, Guatemala. So the other what was the next thing I was gonna mention? Oh yeah, SheBelieves Cup. That's we'll wrap there. Japan,
it's a rough one,
wins the SheBelieves Cup for the first time in their history. They break the the streak of the United States that won 5 in a row. And we have what was
Two
it?
of their last 3 losses were to the USA.
The first again, producer Carter with the great stat. First loss to Japan.
Stat man Carter over here, bro.
First loss to Japan since the 2011 World Cup. Well, I remember that. That was an
11-game unbeaten streak against them, which is kind of crazy. Or is it in general?
This
general?
Yeah.
No.
This Japan.
You have a microphone. Don't forget it. You're allowed to talk, Carter.
This Japan.
We took the electrodes out of your seat, so we don't buzz you anymore when you speak.
This Japan was a very different Japan that I think we're used to watching. I don't know if you got a chance to watch their other games at SheBelieves Cup, but they were spectacular. They look, and maybe this is
they play like a club team.
Yes,
It's kind of crazy,
and maybe it's a little bit of, the U.S. team, which I'm like comparing them to essentially. This is not the strongest roster. This is not the first team that Emma Hayes would pick.
No, but this feels like an Emma Hayes type team. Like she specifically picked these players, and I know it's not.
Yeah, and their players shine. I would say the rising star here, Ali Sentner. She scored in this game. She scored a banger.
If I'm not mistaken, Ali Sentner wasn't. She wasn't in a lot of the youth setup for the women's national team. She didn't get into a lot of the youth.
I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is it.
Sure.
I remember being asked on Morning Footy a while back. She was one of the ones who was called up and
kind of like overlooked.
Yeah, overlooked in the past.
At the
and I specifically chose her as who I was most excited to look for because I think she plays the game in such an exciting way, and I think she looked really good in club form. And to see that it's paying dividends just feels great because you would imagine the men's game, you would assume there's a lot of players that slip through the cracks. But in the women's game, there's so much more attention being put on the youth players in the women's game that you think, no players slip through the crack. The best ones make it to the top. To see that there's still some players, there's still some talent out there that maybe are late bloomers or maybe never got that look when they were younger is so exciting to think there's even more talent in this country that we're not finding is crazy.
Yeah, and credit to Emma Hayes. I mean, this roster was a lot of young players, and players get with very few caps or getting getting real big time experience that isn't leading up to a World Cup or not leading up to the Olympics and stuff like that. But effectively the second half, Japan once they take the lead, this is where you say, if you're Emma Hayes, you say, okay, can these players figure this out? Can they figure out defending this low block from Japan? And I mean, I'm putting on the screen just one of the moments towards the end of the game. This is in the 94:03 in the 95th minute with 5 minutes of stoppage time, and the U.S. is they're trying to come up with anything. They're finding it difficult to just get shots on target.
Yeah,
and
they're defending with 5, as you can see here.
Yeah, but this play, and I'm highlight. I drew that red line to show clearly that's the offside line because
you drew this red line.
I drew this red line.
Okay, and
I put and you see the player.
Are you qualified to do that?
I mean, I did my best, but I looked at the line on the pitch of the grass.
You are matching the line.
I tried my best. I mean, and on the iPhone, it does like a straight line for you. I didn't draw it, right? So I was just like, I'm watching the game, and this is Jenna Neiswanger at the bottom of the screen. And she receives this pass. I don't know if it's from Coffee. I forgot who sent the pass in. Or I think it might have been Jaden Shaw. Sends the pass in and sends a cross to Lynn Williams that's in the middle of the box, basically at the penalty spot, to just bang it in and tie the game.
Right.
This was called offside.
Crazy.
This was called offside. And some people are like, oh, you're complaining.
Wait, hold on. What about when it went to VAP? What happened?
VAP?
Yeah, video assistant Polanco. What happened?
Yeah.
This is what I see here.
Yes, that's right.
It's you and Mateo.
I had my dual monitor set up with my 2-year-old son.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey.
The line is a bit off. Now, if we go by my iPhone.
This is, okay. And then we're looking, you see the lineswoman She's at the top of the screen, right next to the red line.
Right. From her vision, that is a straight line from player to player.
But she's
not on the right.
She doesn't even
She's not
see
in place.
Jenna Neiswanger. She does not even.
No, she does. She sees it in line with the defender. Do you get what I'm saying? Because her vision is now off kilter. Because she's not in line with the last defender.
She is not. She's ahead of the last defender.
Which you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be in line with the last defender.
Okay, yeah.
I don't assume there's another defender. Not that it would matter, but there's not.
This was called offside.
The lines person is supposed to be in line with the last defender. That is why it's such a difficult job, because you're constantly running in place of the last defender. So your vision should be straight across the pitch. Your vision should be the straight line, which you can draw either legally or illegally, as you did here on your iPhone.
This was just a ridiculous. I just couldn't believe that she raised her flag.
Yeah,
in this situation,
it's a back call.
She is a 2 yards onside.
She is about 3 people shoulder to shoulder onside.
Crazy, because again, this could have led to the tying goal. It wouldn't have led to the U.S. winning the SheBelieves Cup, because they would have been on goal differential.
It would have equalized.
It would have equalized.
Which seems like an important move.
Well, at the very least, it would have not been a loss to Japan in this game. But again, credit to Japan. They were fantastic. And the midfielder who plays in NWSL, I forgot her name. Apologies. She is who is it? Nagano? No, not Fuka. No, she plays in Liverpool. No, she doesn't play in NWSL. Yui Hasegawa.
She plays at City.
She plays at City. She is, I'm not even like exaggerating.
Right.
She is Iniesta. Like, she is just
you don't play on City, man or woman, if you ain't techie. The midfield is crazy.
She was getting out of double teams, pressure. There was nothing that any U.S. player could do, and it just sort of shows.
This is what the U.S. need, man. We need like a couple more Rose Lavelles.
that's kind of it. Like,
it really is.
And look, and I don't think the U.S. loses to this team if it's the first team.
Of course
it's Sophie Smith, Trinity Rodman, and I think the pressure would have just been a little too much for Japan. But it does say something about like the next crop of players.
We talked about this in the last major competition, that the world, I wouldn't say catching up, but there's real competition around the world. The USA don't have it as easy as they may have had in the past, where it was like 1 or 2 players in another nation stood out, and they could ball out, and they could beat you. But for the most part, across the board, the median wasn't where the U.S. is at. That gap is really starting to close like crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's is it disappointing that the U.S. didn't win the SheBelieves Cup? They win it all the time. Sometimes this tournament doesn't always feel like it's a quote unquote like really
it has
important
Gold Cup feeling to it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
because it always
does everyone take it as
it's the game? It's they're played in the U.S. It's it sometimes feels like a like tour, a tour of the U.S. teams or whatever. But no, credit to Japan. I mean, there was late in the game. I think it's Kumagai. She had a collision. Lindsay Heaps, who formerly Lindsay Oran. She
you said Lynn Williams is Lynn Biandolo?
Biandolo, apologies. Yeah, we're all adjusting.
We're getting accustomed.
She went up for a header in the box, and usually there's like head-to-head collisions. It was teeth-to-head collision. And Kumagai got the worst of it. Blood just all gushing down her face.
Your head bleeds a lot.
Wrapped it up. 20 more minutes into the game. It just felt like Japan wanted this trophy. Maybe not. I'm going to say a little bit more, but they really showed up to win this.